All right. So again, spotlight my video and mute. All right, so once you're in your seat, sitting upright as we always do, starting with a little meditation. Just simple, sitting at the front edge, buttock bones plugging in to the chair connecting you to the ground, your legs also connecting to the ground, but there's not really weight bearing in the legs so much at this point. Chin slightly down, crown at the top, nasal breathing. Scanning through the body, looking for anywhere that you are grabbing a hold of your body to keep it upright, and try to soften and relax that and rely more on integrity of alignment and on the fact that we have a liquid matrix. This body is soft. When it's soft and fluid, it has a certain integrity that holds you up. So we want to learn how to rely on it. And just final, say 6 or 7 nice, thorough, meditative breaths. And let's do our opening joint mobilization. Hands slide forward, drop the head softly round the back. Hands slide back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, look up. Hands forward, drop the head softly rounding. Hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, arch the back. Do that 2 or 3 more times. And last one. And then settle to the middle, right in the middle. Rotation, slide left hand forward, right hand and elbow pull back. As you do that, turn to the right. And then switch and turn to the left. And then turn to the right. And turn to the left. Continue. Just noticing all these warm-ups that we do can be executed with softness. So that's the main focus, is loose and easy movement. Let's come back to the middle and let the arms hang. And then drooping to the right, left wrist floats up. Drooping to the left, right wrist floats up. Drooping to the right as left wrist floats. And so just do this a few more times. Again, this can be executed with nothing but loose and soft, easy, hydraulic, water-based. Right, so we're just polishing out those places of stagnation, adhesion, like little barnacles in the body. And the more you practice this soft movement, the more that softness becomes your steady state. Let's come back to the middle, stay in the middle. Chest, shoulders, upper back, this whole region in the body tends to be a place of grabbing and holding. So our next few little movements is to disentangle this area. Shoulders go forward, up, back, down. When we're standing up, walking, and moving, we actually want to feel the upper body above the diaphragm as empty, light, right? Sort of like it's just floating there, an empty quality in the upper body. And so we're trying to just polish out that tension. Now reverse the circles. So the shoulder blades go back, up, over the top, down in front. Back, up, over the top, and down in front. So again, we're circling. And the torso's moving a little bit, but the primary movement is coming from the shoulder blades that are on your back, your upper back, and the arms that are connected to those shoulder blades. Last one. All right, and now from here, we bend the elbows, bring the hands up, elbows out like little chicken wings all the way up, elbows all the way down, elbows around in front and squeeze them together, and then down, around and out to the side and up, down alongside your body, around in front of you, try to touch your elbows together. That opens up your upper back, and then elbows down. Let's do it again. Out to the side and up, down, around in front and squeeze, and down. Again, we're unpacking the usual areas in everybody's body that we hold on to tension that makes us top heavy and easy to fall over. Now, elbows pull straight behind you. Then they point down. The hands are here. Elbows point forward. The hands naturally go over the shoulder. And then point the elbows up as your hands slide down your back. And then point the elbows forward, down, and back. And we're just going to travel that pathway a few times. Down, forward, up. Forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. Do that again a couple times on your own. Forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. Forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. And bring the elbows down. Last one in this little series, elbows out to the side, palms facing the floor, open. One above, one below. The one below, go under the armpit and wrap your arms around like you're hugging yourself. So give yourself a little hug. And then elbows straight out to the sides of the room. Then the other one above, other one below, cross, and take your hands onto your torso like you're hugging yourself. And then elbows straight out to the sides of the room. One above, one below. Hug. And out. Other way. And out. One more of each. and elbows down, hands down. Scoot back a little bit on your chair so you feel very stable on your chair. One leg, lift, and draw the heel towards the butt. So it's like a spring that's loading, call that chamber, and then set the foot down. Other leg, chamber, down. First leg, chamber, so we're hinging at the hip and deeply folding the knee, and then setting that foot down. Other leg, chamber, down. Now let's add the push. Chamber, push all the way straight, re-chamber, down. Switch, chamber, push, re-chamber, down. Chamber, push, chamber, down. Chamber, push, and down. 2 more each. So this just warms up the joints, warms up the main functioning movement of the leg without any weight bearing. So this is exactly what the leg is going to do when we stand up and sit down. It's just going to have weight bearing. So we just want to get comfortable. Now on this one here, put the foot out there, leave it there. Point foot, flex foot. Point foot, flex foot. Point, flex. Then invert, evert. Invert, evert, just this little waggle of the foot. Circles, inward circles, about 5. Outward circles, 5. And switch, point, flex, about 5. Invert, evert, a little in, a little out, 5. Circles, inward, and outward, and down. Scoot all the way forward on your chair. Now, swivels. Lift the ball of your left foot and turn on the heel so the knee and the toes point out. Then lift the heel, turn on the ball of the foot, the knee comes in, the heel goes out. Lift the toe again. Toe out, knee out. And then heel out, knee in. One more time, toe out. And then let's walk it in. 1, the heel comes in 2, toe comes in 3, heel comes in 4, and we're back. So the main point of this is to rotate from the hip socket, the whole leg. Toe out, knee out. Heel out, knee in. From the hip, toe out, knee out. Heel out, knee in. One more time, and open. Walk it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And notice your pelvis is just still. Your hips are just sitting here. Your other leg is just sitting here. Your whole body is here. The only moving part is that left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're creating space in this hip joint, which is very important. Walk it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Let's switch legs. So now everything stays still except that moving leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. And then in, 2, 3, 4. 2 more times there and back. 1, 2. Moving from the hip. 3, 4, 5. It's like wringing out a rag. Wring it in, wring it out. In, out, and back. Last one. 2, 3, 4. Hold. In, 2, 3, 4. Back. Parallel feet. Now folding at the hips. So now your legs don't move, but your hips do move. Go ahead and sit back upright. From sitting upright, lean back from the hips. Sit upright from the hips. So now the only moving part, it can look like we're moving all kinds of different stuff, but really the only thing that's changing its relationship is where the leg bones plug into the hip socket. And this is one of the most important joints in the body because it's where if we can learn to operate from here in a soft way, not hard, rigid, and stuck, but soft and fluid, then you have the essence of Tai Chi movement already beginning to be something you're cultivating. Now, we use that same quality to stand up and sit down. So I'll turn sideways, but you can just keep facing forward. You slide your feet back a little so that this is an acute angle right here at the knees. And then that soft fold from the hips. You want your shoulders, your head, your arms in front of the ankles, and then standing up should be pretty easy. You just go forward, and then you push through the earth, and here you are standing vertical. And ideally, you're not holding on to a bunch of tension up in the body. Let that be loose, relax, right? That's why we did all these movements and the elbows and shoulders, all that, right? Now to sit down, fold at the hips. Notice my spine stays nice and supported. My arms, however, loose. The butt back, sit. But notice when I sit, I'm still folded, right? So a lot of times what people do is they get to about here and then they fall back into the chair, jams the back, and it's also just not the ideal way to move. Same thing when we go forward and then we try to go up. Don't do that. Go forward and just keep going forward until you no longer have weight in your chair. And then be able to reverse that. So you fold at the hips, the butt goes back. And then you sink and you stay folded until your butt lands on the chair. Then you sit upright. Let's do that 3 more times. Soft. Soft. Loose. Again, notice how my arms are loose. My shoulders are loose. They stay loose. So here the arms are hanging. By the time I stand up, my arms are loose and hanging, but they fall naturally right into place. But I'm not holding on to my arms. So that when I'm folding, my arms dangle rather than I'm holding them and creating a bunch of stiffness. Loose. Loose. And that's important because, again, it makes us less top heavy, but it also just allows this liquid matrix of the body to stay fluid and connected rather than compartmentalized with tension. Next time you're standing, stay standing. Now, from here, relaxed and loose. Make your way closer to one of your chairs. So again, this is the setup you should have. A seat behind you, chairs on either side, backs of the chairs facing in so you can be supported as needed. From here, let me tilt my screen down just a touch. Okay. Now, first, let's find where on the foot we want to be. So let yourself tip a little bit forward. And note that you can empty the heels, and it's almost like you're about to fall forward, but you don't. Loose. And then rock back to the middle. So you're hovering in the arch. And then from your middle, from the belly height, rock a little bit back so your heels take the weight and your toes get a little empty. And then through the middle to the front. So this simple practice really helps us find where our middle is. Because a lot of times when people are doing this initially, they're doing this and doing this to try to get to their heels, where you can see that's not what I'm doing. I'm moving from this level of the body, the middle, forward and back. So I'm in my heels right here. My toes, the balls of my feet aren't even touching the floor now. but I'm not putting myself in some crazy risk. So this helps us find where's our middle in the forward and back plane, or the sagittal plane, right? Now find the middle of your feet, so you're neither in the back nor the front. And let's find the side to side plane. So a little bit of a shift, a little bit over, but really it's about letting the springy leg, your right leg, take the body weight. So you're only relying on your right leg, your left leg empty enough possibly to do what I'm doing here. Just a light little swivel. It's loose. So you don't have to pick it up off the ground, but you want to feel it empty. And then change. Your weight, you let it go a little bit over, but it's mostly about down. Letting this leg passively, like a bed spring, take your body weight so that this leg becomes your empty leg. And then change. So another mistake people make is they go too far in the sideways direction, meaning they get all the way over here and then they're stuck in a hip and they've thrown off their middle, versus what I'm describing is a little bit over, and mostly it's about letting, feeling this leg slightly sort of bend a little to take the weight. And then we come over to this side, just enough to get there, and then let the leg take the weight. So this is your level 1 practice that you can be doing at the store. You can be doing when you're waiting for your teacup or your tea kettle. You know, whenever you have a second, you just do this weight change, feel 1 empty, 1 full, and then weight change, 1 empty, 1 full. And this is the secret to stepping up a curb, stepping up stairs, because until I achieve empty, I have no business picking this foot up off the ground to step it onto a stair or step up a curb or really even take a step forward. But a lot of times people don't. They're double weighted and then they pull it up and they fall into the foot. And you can get away with that until you can't. And then once you can't get away with that, you start falling, you start bumping into you start catching your foot on things. So very simple, but very potent practice right here. So let's take this 1 step further. The weight goes into your right leg. Left foot is empty. Lift the heel, and I'll turn sideways so you can see. Heel, and get to the tippy toes. So you're on the tippy toes. This proves to you, are you truly here in this leg? Then put that whole foot back on the floor with no body weight. So don't put the weight into that leg. Keep it out of it and put the foot down. Then change, so you're in that left leg. Lift the heel and get to the tippy toes, right to the tip. You haven't left the ground yet, but you're about to. And then with no weight, put that whole foot on the ground. Change. Heel, tippy toes, down. Change. Imagine a teacup sitting on top of your head. So your vertical axis has to stay vertical. So we're not leaning this way, leaning that way. You keep that vertical and yet create 1 full, 1 empty. Change. 1 full, 1 empty. Down. Change. Let's take it a step further. This you might need your chair for, or just have it there in case. Once you empty your right foot, now disconnect it from the floor for a moment. Put the whole foot back down without weight, and then change. Disconnect. Get to the tippy toes, then disconnect, reconnect, change without spilling your teacup. And once again, what really makes this Tai Chi is the emphasis on everything we're doing can be executed with total softness. So we're just softening through this movement. We're waiting for this to be empty. We're soft. It just lifts like a feather. Change. 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 If you can achieve this, you can do a bunch of other stuff, but it's this ability to get better and better at 1 leg full, 3 empty. And then other leg full, 3 empty, meaning one leg, 3 arms, or 2 arms, right? So loose. Last one, and we'll take it to the next exercise. Okay, so we're to the right side. Hopefully you're near, this is my left, your right, so I'm your mirror. Put the weight through your left leg, right foot empty, put it out in front with the heel just softly touching. And you'll notice I'm close. I'm not way out here putting myself in an imbalanced place. It's just very close. It's right there. Now, your weight's in your back leg, just like a rocking chair, rock into your front leg. And then rock into your back. And then rock into your front. Rock. How's your teacup doing? How's your middle? Right? This middle is where everything connects and converges. So that when everything's relaxed, we're moving from here. This is level 1, where we're letting the heel stay in touch with the ground even when it's empty. And the toe stays in touch with the ground. Let's go to level 2 now. So here again, you might need your chair for this. Once you're empty in your front foot, lift and lower a straight leg. Let's just do that twice more, just the lift. So it's from the hip, straight leg, lift and lower. Again, lift and lower. Now, rock. In this back leg, just bend the knee, pull the heel to the butt, kind of like a flamingo, right? Like that. And then back down to the floor. Do that twice more. Flamingo, touch. Flamingo, touch. Now let's put that all together for the exercise. Rock back, straight leg lift, straight leg lower, shift into that foot, back leg, heel to butt, toe down, rock back. This is level 2. Lift, lower, shift, moving from your middle, teacups on your head. So there's a part of you that is undisturbed. This middle of you is undisturbed, even when you're changing weight from leg to leg, disconnecting a foot, reconnecting. Now, level 3, instead of just a straight leg lift, let the knee bend and lift this up all the way to chamber. Again, use your chair for support. Heel comes down, softly touches. Do that twice more with this leg. Lift and down. Middle is steady and still and relaxed. Lift, down. Now rock into your right leg. Back leg, heel comes to butt and knee comes forward and up, right? So it's now in front of you. And that leg reaches back. Touch the toe back where it was. Do that twice more. Forward and up. Reach back. Forward and up. And reach back. Now let's make it an exercise. Rock back. Lift. Lower. Rock forward. Forward and up with the knee. And then reaching back with the toe. Shift. Up and down without putting weight in it. Change the weight. Knee forward and up. Toe reaching back. Shift back. 2 more. Change the weight. All this movement. Change the weight. 1 more. Change. Back. Now bring your front foot back to match. Empty your left foot. Take 1 side step towards your other chair. Maybe 2 if you need to. And let's do the exercise on this side. So put the weight through your right leg, left foot empty, put it in front. Again, remember, it's just a small step. So this would get you all out of balance. Just a small little step. Level 1, the rocking chair. Rock, 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 and rock. This is the best one to practice no hands on anything. because you're never leaving the ground. Bless me. Teacup, undisturbed. And level 2, hand on chair for this one. From the hip, straight leg lift, lower. Let's do that twice more. Just from the hip, empty hip, lower. One more, lift, lower, and then shift. Now the back leg, bend the knee, heel to butt, toe touch down. Again, down, up, down. Now make it an exercise. Again, use the chair where needed to lift, lower, shift, heel to butt, toe down, shift, lift, lower, shift. Middle is steady, everything else loose. Let's go to level 3 now. Hand on chair as needed. Lift the knee all the way up. When you lower it down, heel softly touch. Again, up, down, up, down. Now, shift into that left leg. Right foot is empty. Heel to butt and knee forward and up. Reach the toe back. Forward and up, reach the toe back. One more, forward and up, reach the toe back. Now make an exercise out of it. Shift, knee up, down, shift, forward and up, back, shift, up, down, shift, up, back. 2 more. So we're emphasizing changing full and empty, doing something, retaining that empty quality in the leg, and then shifting back and doing an empty, something with the empty leg. 1 more. Rather than it all being mashed together, which is how most people move who haven't trained their body, their brain and body relationship. It's all just sort of clumsy, clumped together movement. All right. Now, I'm going to pull this back for myself so that you guys can see. But basically, you have a runway. You want to find a runway where you have some support around you, but you have the room for maybe 5 steps or so, 6 steps. So starting on one end of your runway, empty 1 foot and put it out in front, small. Now we rock, wait for the back foot to be empty, swing it forward, rock. Back foot empty, swing it forward, rock. Back foot empty, swing it forward, rock. Now we're going to go backwards, rock back. Wait for that foot to be empty, swing it back, touch the toe, rock back. Wait for it to be empty, swing it back, touch the toe, rock back. Wait for it to be empty, swing it back, rock back. Let's do it again. Forward, wait for it to be empty. Swing an empty foot, rock. Wait for it to be empty. Swing an empty foot, rock. Swing, rock. And back. Shift. So the key is when you swing the foot back, don't let the weight leave your front leg, your leg that's your stable leg. Then you can shift. But wait for it. Set up your landing zone. Shift. Shift. Now continue that or start to let it flow a little bit. Be careful, be safe, but we're just going there, back a few times. You're trying to go one full, one empty, step the empty. One full, one empty, step the empty. One full, one empty, step the empty. One more set. Okay, now you're at the tail end of your runway. Now we're going to do our side steps. So facing where you're going to have, like if I'm on my runway, I have my chairs here. So when I'm going sideways, I have these that I can work with. Now, what we don't want to do with our side steps is, again, be stiff and go boom, 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 boom. I'm exaggerating what a lot of people do. It's like being a wooden doll with no spring-loaded joints. I'm getting there and I can get back fast. I can move, but with Parkinson's especially, if you move like that, then it becomes a problem. Then your body gets stuck. So we have to soften and loosen and learn how to move with this liquid body. So first things first, put the weight in your, we'll say outside leg. So if you're going to your left, then it'll be your left leg is the inside leg, I guess we could say. So now step that foot out and then bring it back. Do this a few times and get to where, if you watch my body, you notice my body weight isn't going with the leg and coming back with the leg. It's staying here. So this leg is empty. Now put that foot out there, leave it there, change the weight to the right leg. Now the left foot is empty, and then change and change. So feel one full empty, the other full, the other empty. And your middle is still steady, your teacup is still balanced. Now the next time you go into that leg that you stepped with, now bring that other leg in and then back out. Do that a couple of times, and again, notice the body weight shouldn't go back and forth. It should stay where it is, and that empty leg is free. Now bring the empty leg in. Now we're going to sidestep there and back a few times. So change the weight and step that leg out. Shift. Step the empty leg in. Shift. Step the leg out. Shift. Step in. So we're moving laterally across the room. Once you get to one side, let's go back the other way. Out, change the weight, in, change the weight. Oh, I did forget one step here, so let's do this together. Feet close together, right? So we did this weight change where we were far apart. We went back and forth. Now, when you bring your feet close, keep them very close, and let's change and change. So one full, one empty, so that this is empty. And then change so that the other is empty. And what this teaches you is this internal mechanism that's very subtle. It's almost like doing salsa dancing or samba dancing, this sort of internal pelvic lumbar change that has less side-to-side movement and more down through, down through. So find this quality of change, your teacup still resting on top of your head, very comfortable. All right, now the next time you have, let's say your left leg empty, step it out. Change. As soon as that right foot is empty, bring it in, keeping it empty, and then change with your feet close together. Step out. Change. Step in. Change. Step out. Change. Step in. Change. step out, change, step in. Let's go there and back again. Stepping out an empty foot. So the mantra for this is step without shifting, and then shift without stepping. Step without shifting, shift without stepping. Step without shift, shift without step. Eventually they can sort of start to blend together so that it's almost like shift and step together and shift and step out together, but yet you're continuing to maintain your central equilibrium. So this is where Tai Chi starts to be able to move swiftly, but it's a very different quality than that teeter-totter movement. It's more liquid, connected to the ground, right? You can see as I'm moving here, it's loose, right? I'm not disturbing my equilibrium. Let's go there and back one more time. Side steps. Those of you that have been doing it a while, you might start to feel that you can do this simultaneous. Shift and step, shift and step, shift and step, shift and step. And there and back that final time. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and let's bring ourselves back to between the chairs. So you got them on both sides and you're right in between them so that you'll always have some sort of guardrail to work with. Now, empty your right leg, turn your right leg out 90 degrees. Then that same leg being empty, bring it back to neutral. Same leg, now internally rotated. So the heel points out, the toes pigeon toe in, and then back to neutral. Turn it out. Notice when you turn the leg out, the hips naturally turn a little bit to the right. Let that happen. Neutral. And then when you turn the toes in, the hips turn a little bit to your left. And neutral. Turning out. Now let's skip neutral and just go from turned out to turned in. Turned out. And the whole time this leg is empty. Turn in. Out. In. Out. And in. Back to neutral and switch. Change. Left leg turn out. Neutral. Turn in. Neutral. Out. The pelvis turns along with it a little bit. Neutral. Turn in. The hips turn a little bit with it. Now skipping neutral. Out. In. Out. In. Teacup still balanced. In. Out. In. And neutral. Change the weight again. Right leg turns out. Shift your weight into the right leg. Turn the body to match the right leg and step your left foot next to it. So you quarter turn to the right. Empty your right foot again and do it again. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Shift into it, turn the body with it, and bring the left foot to match it. Quarter turned again, so now we're halfway around. Empty the right foot, turn it out 90 degrees. Shift into it, left foot is empty. You bring that empty left foot next to it, set it down. Change again, final time, turn the right foot out. Shift, turn, and bring it around. Let's go around again. Key element, when you turn the foot out, it's empty. So again, it's not just turn, right? Which is what a lot of people do. They sort of just force it, they muscle it. Instead of empty the foot and turn it out, but it's empty. Then shift. Once you shift into the right leg and you step the left foot stays empty. So you don't just kerplunk into it. Then you go into the left foot again. The right foot is empty. Turn it out. It stays empty. Shift and turn and bring the left foot around. Hovering the left foot if you can for a moment. and then change and empty the right foot as you turn it out. And then shift and turn and bring the left foot, hovering it into place. Change, turn out, bring it around. All righty, let's do that to the left. So left foot is empty and turns out. Shift and turn. Empty the left foot again by filling the right. Turn the left foot out. Shift and turn. Empty the left foot, turning it out. Shift and turn. Empty, turn it out. Shift and turn. Again. So this is a very practical skill. You go, oh yeah, I got to go over there. This is where a lot of falls happen. People's feet are glued to the ground and they turn their upper body and bow, fall. So if we think more relaxed body and go, oh, I got to go over to my left, empty and turn the foot out, shift, and then you can march off in that direction using all these principles, right? So again, it's this initial little change of orientation in space for whatever you got to go do, right? And we're back around. Now I want to add a challenge to this. This is one we've done before, but we haven't done it in a while. So we'll need some room. Watch me, please. So it's empty. I turn the foot out. Not only do I shift into it, but I actually take this left foot and take one step in that direction. And then I'm going to turn the right foot out again. And so I'm shifting, and instead of bringing this left foot next to it, I take a step and shift and go into it. And my right foot is empty, I do it again. So I'm basically making a square. Shift, turn the body, and step in this new direction that I've oriented. Turn the right foot out, shift, turn, and take one step in that direction. We're going to do that again. So you'll want to move over to the left side of your chairs rather than the middle, and we'll do it. Right foot out. Shift, turn, one step with the left foot in that direction, pause. Right foot should be empty, turn it out, shift into it, turning the body, take one big, not big step, but one step with the left foot, shift into the left foot. Right foot is empty again, turn it out. So it's shift, turn the body, and take a step with the left foot in that direction. And then one more, turn the right foot out, shift, turn, take one step, and we're back to hopefully where we started. Let's do that again. So the square, it's all about turning corners. Boom, shift, step, and at no point should you feel like you've lost your middle. Your middle is just floating along, and you've got one empty foot. You shift into that foot, and the other's empty, so you can take a step. Now the other one's empty again. You can turn it out. Shift, take a step. And once you return, you're on the left side of your little space between your chairs. Take a couple side steps towards this side. And let's do our square walk. Turn the left foot out. Shift into it. Once you're established, take one step with the right foot, shift. Left foot being empty, it can turn out. Shift into it. Right foot is empty, takes one step, we shift. Left foot turns out, shift into it, take one step with the right foot and advance in that direction. And then turn left foot out, shift into it, take one step in that direction, advance. Do it again. Turn, shift, one step. Turn left foot out, shift, turn the body, take one step, shift. Turn left foot out, shift, take one step. Turn left foot out, shift, take one step. Final time around on your own. So in a low stress environment, this is as low stress, hopefully, as it can be. We're practicing the practical skills that come up in the grocery store or on the sidewalk. Right? And we're trying to get somewhat comfortable with those skills. Okay. Shogun, or closing gesture. Wings come up and over the top and settle the hands down to the middle, the belly button middle. So we walked forward and back. We did sideways. We did turning. And then we also did turning and moving forward. Turning and moving forward. So you see how we're building these building blocks of moving, right? Now we'll do our little closing sequence for the lower half of the body. So what you'll need is your chair turned like so that you can see me, but also you got your chair in front of you, right? After you get this set up, then we're ready to go. So the first lower body sort of finishing series, step 1 foot behind, touch the toe gently, and then press the heel down. Release the heel, coming back to the toe, and then step parallel. Step behind, the toe touches, press the heel, bring it back, step to parallel. Change. So this left leg is empty. It's empty, toe touches. It stays empty even as you press the heel. So we're not going into that leg. We're staying in the right leg and pressing the heel. And then coming back here. Step. Touch the toe. Press. Release. Here. Change the weight. This one's empty. Touch. Press. Release. Parallel. Change. Touch. Press. Release. Parallel. Change. I'm going to face forward so I can see you guys. Touch. Press. Release. Parallel. Change the weight. Touch. Press. Release. Parallel. Couple more. Some of you, if you feel comfortable, the next step is to stack your hands over your belly button, keeping your middle and sort of hands free. But if this feels dangerous, go back to hands on the chair. One final addition, when you've gotten to this stage, is as you press the heel, you turn your head to look over the shoulder and then come back. So I'll raise the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So as we go to one side and press the heel, turning the head. And what that does, it creates sort of a torque or a twist through the body, a wringing out of the body, and back to middle. Step behind. As you press, you turn the head back, middle. Let's do one more each side. Behind. As you press, you turn the head gently in that direction. Don't force anything, but it's just a gentle and back to the middle. Okay, so that's one exercise, closing exercise. The next one, standing with your right hand on your chair, left leg is empty. So I'll turn it here so you can see me a little better. Turn the left leg out 90 degrees, lift it. Then bring the leg in and lower the leg down. Turn it out, lift it, bring it in, lower it down. Turn the leg out, lift it, bring the leg in, lower it down. Turn it, lift, in, down. Couple more. Turn, lift, over the top, down. One more. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. You either switch chairs. I'm just going to turn around. You can see this side. Leg turns out. I lift it, close it, lower it down. Turn it out. Lift, close it, lower it down. Turn it out. Lift over the top. Eventually, this can start to have a circular motion, but we first need to get each of the little corners. So it's turn, lift, close, lower, turn. But if and when you start to feel comfortable, you can just flow that circle. And again, the first side. Now, instead of this leg turning out, swivel on the ball of the foot and turn it in. Bring the knee across, open, down. Swivel on the ball of the foot, turn, bring it across, open, down. Notice that my head, belly button, hips stay mainly facing the same direction for most of it. So I'm not turning and turning too much. It's just the leg turning internal, coming across, opening, lowering down. Internal. And again, same idea with this one. It can start to really circle nicely. Someday you don't even need hands on anything. But don't force that. All right, and last one. Other side. Pigeon toe, bring it across, open, down. Swivel on the ball of the foot to pigeon toe, come across, over the top, down. Ball of foot swivel, cross, open, down. Swivel, cross, open, down. Continue. Two more. And last thing for the legs. Left foot, softly touch the floor with the ball of the foot and then swivel, swivel. So your leg is internally or externally rotating, internally rotating, externally, internal, externally, internal. You're just loosely kind of shaking the leg from the hip. Loose. Then with that same looseness, you go heel in, up, heel out, down. In, up, out, down. So it's an ankle circle, but really what it can eventually be, not sure how well you can see it, is that from my hip, my leg is essentially going like this, spiraling, right? So I'm going spiral, 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 and reverse. Heel out, up, over the top, in and down. So it's an ankle circle, but really it's the whole leg spiraling. This one can be a little tricky, so just kind of, if it's awkward and cumbersome at first, fine. But just try to get the idea. And let's switch to the other side. Soft tap of the foot, in and out. So this is just to really loosen and find that pivot in the hip. Then once you found that hip pivot, then the heel goes in, up, out, down. In, up, out, down. Spiral. Reverse. Out, up, in, down. And hands on what's called the quad, or the groin area. rub up and down just on either side of that groin. Then go to the front of the hips, the hip flexors. Come around to the back, the tailbone. Up the tail to the lumbar. And then as if we're squatting, as if we're going to sit in the chair, the butt goes back, sit the butt, the hands slide down the outside of the legs, come around to the inside. And as you stand up, the hands come up the inside of the legs all the way up to the belly. And then we go quad, hip flexors, sacrum, tail, lumbar, and we do it again. Down the outside, around to the inside, up the inside. Final time, quad, hip flexors, sacrum, lumbar, and then clear all the pathways. Down, around, and up. And last sort of Qigong massage gesture, up the outside of one arm, turn that palm up, down the inside of that arm. Do it again, same arm. Up the outside, down the inside. Up, down. Up, down, up the outside, yang channels, down the inside, yin channels. And switch, outer, inner. The idea of these last little massages is that it just resets the natural flow. Many things disturb our natural flow. We want to reset that. Good job, everybody. All right, Shogun or closing gesture, wings, palms up over the top, settle, 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 belly button, center of palm, and stack. And that closes the practice by reminding us, here's our middle, and everything else can be relaxed. So thank you, everybody. Have a safe seat. Make sure your chair is where you think it is, and feel free to ask a question or two if you have them.